Hi everyone. So today, previously we had discussed on the topic encapsulation, right? So we are discussing the four pillars and oops, right? So previously we had discussed encapsulation. So today we'll be discussing on the topic abstraction, actually the second one. So what does the definition part say here? Let's see the same thing. Abstraction is an OOPS concept that focuses on hiding the implementation details, right? It hides the implementation details and shows only essential features to the user. It shows only what is required actually. It shows only the essential features to the user, hiding the implementation details, right? By hiding the implementation details, it only shows the essential features to the user. Abstraction, what it does, it allows us to define what an object can do, right? Basically, it allows us to define what an object can do. It's more related to the object, right? Not how it does it actually. Yeah, abstraction allows us to define what an object can do, not how it does it, right? We are hiding the implementation details. That's what the definition part says. It only shows the essential features to the user. Abstraction allows us to define what an object can do, not how it does it, right? In Java, abstraction is achieved using abstract classes and the interfaces. Yeah, we know this. In Java, abstraction is achieved using abstract classes and interfaces. It helps in reducing the complexity and improving the code maintainability. And again, it helps in reducing the complexity and improving the code maintainability because we are hiding the entire implementation details which are not required, right? So and we are showing only essential implementation details. It is required for the code but not for the user, right? We are showing only the essential features to the user. That is the reason it reduces the complexity, improving the code maintainability, right? Let's try to understand the same thing with a very simple example. Yeah, so let's go with a abstract class here. Abstract uh, class. Let me go with a vehicle actually here, right? So let me go with a vehicle here. So within the vehicle class, so this is the abstract method. So this is only we'll be making use of only method signature and no body here, right? So this defines basically what it defines. It defines what the object should do. See here, I'll just go with abstract void start. So this is the method that I was speaking of actually, right? Again, so this is the abstract method. It only comes with a method signature, no body, right? And this defines what the object should do actually, right? So basically we are going with a start, right? Vehicle start. So then let's do one thing. Let's go with a class car that extends actually what it extends vehicle. Yeah, so within the now within the car class, right, which extends a vehicle actually. So let's provide the implementation for the abstract method start, right? So basically what it does, this defines how the object does it actually. This defines how the object does it. See, I'll just go with start here. So accordingly with what we had discussed, so this has to define how the object does it rather than the implementation, right? So I'll just go with uh, system out println. So this one. So within this, I'll just go with car starts with a key actually, right? So this is fine. Let me come out of this one entirely. Now this is it for the actually this is the simple example. This is it for the code. So let's go with a simple example usage actually. Usually I take the example usage from the Google. Let me do it. So I'll do one thing now. So let me paste this one over here. Right. So what we are doing here within the main method, see, so we are just going with the reference of the abstract class and object of the child class. See here, vehicle main. So this one, vehicle B, variable actually new car, right? The reference of the abstract class as well as object of the child class. Then we are calling the abstract method. Yep, nothing but the start here in our case, right? So let me run the code. So the out. What happened here? Cannot find the symbol. Oh, I have to give void here. Sorry. Anyways, let me run this one. We have to get the output. This one is out within the system out println. And we have mentioned car starts with a key. See here, we are getting the correct output, right? So we are getting the correct output, right? So what is happening here? Let me explain you this one step by step. So 1 second. Remove this one. Yeah. First, here vehicle is the abstract class. We know this one, right? So object cannot be created directly. Object cannot be created directly within the abstract class. We know this one. Yep. So we cannot create the object directly within the abstract class. Then we are extending the vehicle by making use of the car class here. Car class which extends the vehicle. This is fine. Yep, which provides the implementation for start. See here, void start system out println car starts with a key, right? So which provides the implementation for the start. Then what we are doing, then let's move on with the further things. Vehicle v equals new car. So this one, this is the polymorphic reference creation. So this one, so this is the polymorphic reference creation, right? So then next we'll be discussing on the topic polymorphism itself, right? So same this one, same name for the different methods, right? That goes with the polymorphism. So we'll be discussing that one later. So for now, polymorphic reference is created here, right? Polymorphic reference is created here. Finally, v dot start. So this one is called. This one is called. So this is nothing but so here what is happening? Java Virtual Machine or the JVM looks for the implementation in the car, right? So we have to get the output. This one, this has to get printed. Car starts with a key, so that's what we are getting the output here, which is absolutely correct. Which is absolutely correct, right? So this is it for the coding part. So this is it for the abstraction actually. Yeah, let's discuss some real world applications of the abstract. This one. Let's discuss some real world applications of the abstraction. Yeah. So let's do one thing here. So let's discuss some of the real world applications here. So abstraction, basically it can be used or it is usually used in the ATM machine, right? So one more thing, as I've said earlier, we will be solving the ATM machine problem tomorrow as well, right? So we'll be designing the ATM system actually. Yep. So basically, let me tell you now itself that abstraction, we will be making use of the abstraction within the ATM machine. So, yep. See, user sees withdraw as well as the check balance method, right? Internal logic will be completely hidden when it comes to the ATM machine, right? So this is pure abstraction, right? This is pure abstraction actually. Yep. So this is one of the real world applications as well. And the second application is car driving, right? Car driving. So see, driver uses accelerator and brake, right? Engine mechanics are completely abstracted, right? Driver uses only accelerator and brake. Engine mechanics are completely abstracted. The third one, mobile apps actually. Mobile apps, what happens actually? Buttons expose actions, whereas backend logic remains hidden. Yeah, backend logic remains hidden. So we will be making use of it within the mobile apps as well. The fourth one, gateways actually. Payment gateways in the sense, we will just see the pay method that will be exposed actually, or we will just see pay method, or pay method is only exposed actually. Payment processing will be completely hidden, right? So payment, it is abstraction is also used in the payment gateways, or we can just make use of the abstraction within the payment case gateways to abstract the this one, payment processing, right? So then it is usually used in the database drivers as well, right? It is used in the database drivers as well, right? So it is used in the database drivers. So we will be going with the same methods but different internal implementation. So these are some of the real world applications of the abstraction actually. Yep. So these are some of the real world applications of the abstraction. Let's come to the final part, nothing but the complexities, right? So what will be the time complexity here? The time complexity would lead to big O of 1. The time complexity would lead to big O of 1. What would be the space complexity here? The space complexity would lead to big O of 1 as well. Time complexity is big O of 1 for the code that we have written because method call happens in constant time. And space complexity is big O of 1 as well because we are not making use of any extra memory, right? Beyond the object creation, nothing but the start here, right? Beyond the object creation, we are not making use of any extra memory. So time and the space complexity would lead to big of 1 and big of 1 respectively, right? So we are done with the abstraction part, right? So I just want to tell you one thing. See, whenever we hear the word abstraction within the OOPS actually, basically our primarily abstraction helps us write flexible, secure, as well as the maintainable code by exposing only the essential behavior while hiding the implementation details. Just remember this one sentence. This is more than enough actually. Yeah. So now we are done with the abstraction part as well. Next, we will be discussing on the topic polymorphism, one of the important topics in the OOPS actually. For now, this is it. Thanks for watching, guys.